Pokémon Scarlet and Violet are going to be amazing, and here's why. There is a general consensus among the Pokémon community that the quality of the mainline Pokémon games has been on a steady, or maybe not so steady, decline since the games went 3D. However, I firmly believe that Scarlet and Violet will completely reverse Pokémon's trajectory as a franchise. I, in full faith, here and now, am making the claim that these games are going to be what we all had dreamt of as kids. A beautiful open world where Pokémon live amongst each other seamlessly. A true adventure with no boundaries, just you and your Pokémon. I realize how bold this seemingly impossible claim may sound, but hear me out. I have some actual good reasoning here. Also, just a quick preface, there are no spoilers whatsoever in this video, so you can sit back and relax. Looking back, I've grown especially fond of generations 3 through 5. I find the characters in these games to be at least somewhat well written, they pack a good story, amazing post-game, and every village or city in these games has their own story to tell, which makes the games just feel so much more alive. The entire games just felt coherent. I think that's a good way of putting it. Generation 6, however, I believe that's where the downward spiral of this franchise started. But what precisely went wrong here? Why did these games feel different? Well, I've put a lot of thought into this and I've come to the conclusion that it's a combination of a lot of factors. Firstly, the franchise wasn't ready for 3D graphics. Yet, I don't blame Game Freak for taking the step when they did. It's easy to look back and criticize, but I'm not sure if people remember how badly everyone wanted this. When Gen 5 released, there was massive backlash for this exact reason: it wasn't 3D. This was such a big deal because it felt like the world was going past the franchise, almost overtaking it in a way. I mean, look at Zelda. Graphically, Zelda was, and still is, far ahead of the Pokémon franchise. But Zelda is a different game with different developers. Due to the immense pressure that was on the company at the time, I don't blame Game Freak for going 3D, but it sure did leave the games hollow. Why? Why did they feel hollow? Well, I'll tell you why. 3D models take a hell of a long time to make, especially if you need 718 of them. Each of them animated alongside with every single attack ever. To be able to handle this workload, the company would have had to completely restructure. And you could guess what was on the bottom of the list of priorities: lore, world building, and the story. And so we ended up with a pair of visually quite pleasing, yet empty feeling games. Secondly, the way the games were structured fundamentally changed. It genuinely started to feel like they were starting to hold your hand, guiding you through the region instead of sending you on an adventure like they were supposed to. I remember so many things just feeling like obligatory chores rather than cool excursions. In a way, the consequence of going 3-dimensional was the game starting to feel like they were 1-dimensional. Kind of ironic, isn't it? It kind of feels like the franchise has been trying to catch up to the world's expectations ever since Gen 6. Generation 7 attempted to bring back some life into the franchise, however, it failed at doing so. New gimmicks were added, but let's be honest, the world still felt empty. The vast majority of routes were just copy and pasted, the towns didn't feel the same, and the hand-holding, oh god, the hand-holding was definitely not gone. This trend continues in Generation 8. Actually, Gen 8 is significantly worse. Seriously, Game Freak? Seriously? The story in these games... the towns... and the characters... the characters. The wild area, though... In concept, Sword and Shield could have been so great, but again, they tried something we weren't ready for, an openly explorable area. I am confident in representing the entire Pokemon community when I say that the wild area was nothing short from a disappointment. It's not worth lingering on these generations for too long, because this is where it all comes together. You see, Game Freak has been experimenting on us these last few years. The release of Legends Arceus settled it for me. Their next move was going to be the one to shock us. Just think about it. Now they have practice in everything they need to make the games we've all wanted for all of this time. They've practiced big, open world spaces with the wild area and Legends Arceus. They've practiced the catching mechanics with Legends Arceus, and they've practiced their animations, modeling and lighting every single generation since X and Y. I am confident that no one knows better than Game Freak what the people want. All the ingredients are there. I have a good feeling about this one, my friends. I really, really do. You will either look back at this thinking, what a fucking idiot that guy was, or hey, that guy was actually right. Either way, I'll be living rent-free in your head, and in your head I will remain unless you subscribe and comment right this moment. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed your stay. Comment your thoughts down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And I hope you enjoyed the games when they release in just a couple of days.